The remains of defeat. The echoes of clashing steel have faded, replaced by the heavy scent of rain-soaked earth and the chilling silence of the fallen. In the center of this desolate battlefield, a man sits motionless, his armor shattered and his banner torn to shreds. The world he once knew, the loyalty to a lord, the warmth of a home, and the shield of his social rank has dissolved into the rising mist. To the passing traveler, he is a ghost of a dead era. To society, he is a man without honor. But in this absolute loss, a transformation occurs. Stripped of everything that defined him, he finds the only thing that cannot be taken: his will. This is the birth of a Ronin, not the end of a warrior's life, but the beginning of a raw, painful, and ultimate freedom. The unsheathed blade. To a Ronin, the katana is no longer a mere weapon issued by a lord. It is the very extension of his soul, a mirror reflecting his inner truth. In a world that judges a man by his armor, the Ronin walks with a blade that has no scabbard of gold or prestige. Resilience begins not in the strength of the arm, but in the discipline of the spirit to endure the biting sting of solitude. When you have no castle walls to guard you and no master's decree to guide you, your own mind must become the unyielding steel. To never yield is to realize that true power is found in the stillness of the heart, a blade that remains sharp even when there is no battle to fight. The dance of autumn leaves. Life does not whisper. It roars like a sudden storm, seeking to uproot the weak and scatter the undecided. To the Ronin, the storm is not an enemy to be conquered, but a partner in a deadly dance. He observes the autumn leaves. They do not struggle against the gale that tears them from the branch. Instead, they find grace in their descent, twisting and turning with the wind, yet always landing with purpose. To never yield does not mean to stand as an unmoving rock that eventually cracks under pressure. It means to be fluid, to be adaptable, and to find your center even when the world is spinning out of control. True strength is the ability to change your tactics without ever losing the essence of who you are. The sustenance of patience. There are nights when the moon is the only witness to a hollow ache. A gnawing hunger that reaches deep into the belly and a cold that bites through the skin to settle in the marrow. To the common man, this is suffering. To the Ronin, it is a sacred forge. Hunger is a master that strips away the ego, revealing the stark truth of one's existence. He who never yields understands that the flesh is a servant, not a king. To feast on patience is to cultivate a spirit that does not crumble when the world offers nothing. It is the grim realization that the strength to hold a sword tomorrow is born from the discipline to endure the emptiness of today. True power is staying upright when your knees beg to hit the ground. Shadows in the bamboo grove. Deep within the emerald shadows of the bamboo grove, the Ronin finds a silent teacher. When the great oaks and ancient pines stand rigid against the gale, they often crack and splinter under the weight of the storm. But the bamboo survives. It does not fight the wind. It embraces it. It bows low, its green stalks bending almost to the earth, yet its roots remain anchored in the deep, dark soil. To never yield is to master the art of the strategic bow. It is the wisdom to know that lowering your head is not an act of defeat, but a gathering of hidden momentum. True strength is not found in being unbreakable, but in being unbendable in spirit while remaining fluid in action. Like the bamboo, the Ronin waits for the wind to pass, only to spring back upright, stronger and more resilient than before. Scars as medals. The Ronin's body is a map of forgotten wars, etched with the jagged lines of steel and the silent stories of survival. To the porcelain world of the elite, a scar is a blemish, a mark of a moment where one was vulnerable. But to the Ronin, every white line upon his skin is a medal earned in the furnace of experience. These are not signs of weakness, they are the ironclad proof that he has been tested and found unyielding. To never yield is to wear your history with pride, refusing to hide the broken parts of your journey. It is the understanding that a man who has never been cut knows nothing of the strength required to heal. Your scars do not define your defeat. They celebrate the fact that you had the courage to bleed, the will to stand up, and the spirit to keep moving forward. Silence amidst the crowd. The Ronin walks through the bustling marketplace of a world that no longer speaks his language. He's met with sidelong glances, the mocking whispers of the comfortable, and the cold judgment of those who have never tasted the dust of a real struggle. To them, he is a relic of a fallen era, a man without a master, and therefore a man without value. But within him, there is a vast, unshakable cathedral of silence. He does not seek validation in the eyes of the crowd, for he knows that the loudest voices often belong to the shallowest souls. To never yield is to refuse to let the world's perception become your reality. It is the steady heartbeat of a warrior who knows that his worth is defined by his inner code, not by the fickle applause or the hollow insults of the masses. In the roar of the world, his peace is his ultimate weapon. Shedding false dreams. The world is a marketplace of glittering chains, offering comfort in exchange for the soul, and security in exchange for silence. There was a time when the Ronin chased the same shadows as the rest. The thirst for rank, the hunger for gold, and the hollow promise of a lord's favor. But to never yield is to realize that some victories are actually defeats in disguise. He has learned to strip away the heavy robes of expectation that society forced him to wear. He chooses the cold mountain air over the stifling warmth of a gilded cage. To walk the path of the Ronin is to understand that true abundance is not found in what you gather, but in what you are brave enough to leave behind. It is the terrifying, beautiful moment when you stop living for the dreams of others and begin to breathe for the truth of your own spirit. The light of the oil lamp. In the deepest hours of the night, when the stars are hidden by heavy clouds and the path ahead is swallowed by shadows, the Ronin does not curse the darkness. He strikes a single flint, nurturing a small flame in a weathered oil lamp. This tiny flicker does not illuminate the entire mountain, but it is enough to see the next step. To never yield is to realize that you are your own sun. While others wait for a savior to bring the dawn, the Ronin understands that the fire of resilience must be lit from within. It is the steady, quiet resolve that refuses to be extinguished by the winds of fate. When the world offers no guidance, your principles become your compass, and your will becomes your light. You are not lost as long as the flame inside you burns brighter than the darkness around you.
Facing the greatest enemy. The Ronin has faced many foes, men of cold steel, betrayal of friends, and the cruelty of the elements. But in the dead of night, he meets the adversary that no sword can cut. It is the ghost that whispers from the dark corners of the mind, the voice of doubt, the shadow of fear, and the weight of what if. To never yield is to realize that the battlefield is not a physical place, but the 6 inches between your ears. He does not run from this internal monster. He sits with it, stares into its hollow eyes, and breathes. He knows that fear is not a sign of weakness, but a call to courage. True mastery is the moment you stop fighting the world and begin to conquer the empire of your own insecurities. You are only defeated when the enemy inside convinces you that you have already lost. The final Sakura. In the soft light of spring, the Ronin stands beneath a cherry blossom tree, watching the delicate petals drift like pink snow toward the earth. To many, the falling Sakura is a symbol of death and the end of beauty. But to the warrior who has seen 1,000 winters, it is the ultimate expression of life's perfection. The flower does not cling to the branch in fear. It lets go with grace, knowing that its purpose was to bloom fully, even if only for a moment. To never yield is to realize that the length of your life is less important than the depth of your character. It is the courage to live every single hour with such intensity and honor that even when your time to fall comes, you do so without regret. You do not fight the inevitable end. You crown it with the glory of a life well lived.
The eternity of the unbroken. The Ronin eventually vanishes into the mist of time, leaving no monuments of stone and no empires of gold. His name may be forgotten by the history books, but his spirit becomes a part of the world's very fabric. It is found in the relentless push of the grass through the concrete, the steady flow of the river against the mountain, and the unbreakable will of every soul that refuses to be crushed by circumstance. To never yield is to transcend the limits of a single lifetime. You become an echo of strength that resonates in the hearts of the weary, a silent reminder that as long as one person stands for their dignity, the light of honor can never be extinguished. The journey of the Ronin does not end with a grave. It continues in you. Every time you choose to rise, every time you choose to fight, and every time you choose to remain unbowed.